Poker is a game built on trust, skill, and instinct. But every so often, someone tries to tilt the odds in their favor and ends up caught in the spotlight. From Robbie's jack-high call that sparked accusations of high-tech trickery, to Jonathan Tamayo's AI-fueled World Series scandal, to Mike Postle's superhuman run on the Stones live stream, and even the time counterfeit WSOP chips were literally flushed down a hotel toilet. These are the moments where cheating wasn't just suspected, it was exposed for the world to see. The call that rocked the poker world. Our journey begins at Hustler Casino Live, the scene of one of the most talked about and controversial hands ever played. The infamous showdown between Robbie and Garrett instantly etched itself into poker history. What began as two seemingly unremarkable pre-flop hands escalated into a clash that ended with one of the wildest hero calls the game has ever seen. Genius? Madness? Or something far more sinister?
Good God, too.
Yeah.
That was like one of his first TV appearances.
One of his first ones, yeah. That was like before he won all those tournaments. And
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Robbie really mixing it up here, calling Garrett's raise with Jack 4 off. It's blind versus blind, and Garrett here has flopped a straight flush draw, 10-10-9 with a couple clubs. He's gonna bet 2,500. Wow, and Robbie's gonna call here with Jack 4 with the Jack of clubs with combo draws. He's gonna bet 10,000. I think Robbie should have probably been out of his hand pre-flop. Wow, look at this. What is she thinking about here? Is she gonna raise it? Well, we saw her raise Ace King a little bit ago for a min raise. Here she's gonna min click.
Oh wait, hold on, let me scratch my face. That's the shit I got.
How often would she do this with the 10? Could he possibly bet 3-bet here? I mean, she just min clicked the turn.
You gotta take this class.
Too late.
If he calls, there'd be about 2 pot size bets left. So, I mean, that's what's got to be going through his head here. I think he's considering bet 3-betting, and yep, there's the all-in. There's the all-in. Garrett, like I said, he's just so experienced in bet patterns, bet sizing. She said that she thought Garrett had a draw about 20 minutes ago when Garrett had the full house, the Queen 4 against Jack 8. And she took some time with it. And then she said,
I just want to call to see it. I think he might have me though. 3's no good? This is why you shouldn't be in hands like this.
she doesn't have a 3. So.
I call.
She calls?
For once, but it's up to you. Yikes.
Oh my God.
Let's see the hand. So far, so good. It looks like you're ahead.
What is going on here?
For once, but it's up to you.
Is it possible that her hand might be misread in the card graphics or something?
Because I have a shitty hand.
You do? Yikes.
She goes ahead in her hand.
Got it.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, pocket 3?
She goes that hit.
What?
No. No, I just thought he's. This is a pure bluff catcher. I'm dealing with right now.
With Jack high?
But yeah, I think he has to be.
We'll go to the river. The river is a 9.
That one's you for sure.
They're gonna run it twice,
I
and
don't think so.
she's
You have
gonna.
like small pair?
You give me that much credit?
I don't know.
Haven't you seen what I've
She's
done?
good with the first one.
Let's turn him over. You're already not that
Oh. No.
If the cards are correct.
already there.
What is it called?
What a sick call.
And the river bricks out again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
I want to see. Does she have Jack 4?
She had 4 jackpot.
What?
Whoa!
Look at Whoa, look at Garrett's face.
Garrett's disbelief turned quickly into suspicion. The poker community exploded. Was this the boldest call of the decade or proof of foul play hidden in plain sight? The moment became so notorious that mainstream media latched on, including an Inside Edition spotlight that pushed the debate beyond poker diehards and into living rooms across the world.
Did she cheat? That's the question being asked about a professional poker player who's being accused in the biggest scandal in the game's history. She walked away with $270,000. But did she use a secret signal to help win that jackpot? Here's Stephen Fabian.
Did this glamorous professional poker player cheat at a high-stakes poker game?
He's gonna bet $2,500.
The game pitted poker veteran Garrett Adelstein against Robbie Jade Liu, a rookie to the world of big league poker.
She calls? Oh my God.
Robbie won the $269,000 pot with an audacious winner-take-all play that surprised many fans watching the game being live-streamed from a casino in California.
What?
Whoa!
Look at
Adelstein is a hunky former contestant on Survivor from 2014. He looked stunned by his loss.
You look like you want to kill me, dude.
I don't understand sort of what's happening.
Inside Edition's coverage gave the scandal new legs, explaining the drama to a mainstream audience and igniting debates far outside the felt. Robbie's reputation and character were suddenly on trial, not just among pros, but in front of millions of casual viewers.
Right now.
Adelstein claims he was clearly cheated. Eagle-eyed viewers took note of this moment when Robbie appears to fiddle with that chunky ring on her finger. Then she places her hand under the poker table, and when her hands emerge, look, she's apparently turned the ring around under her finger. In a tweet, Adelstein wondered if Robbie had a hidden device that simply vibrates to indicate you have the best hand. Did the glamorous woman poker player have an accomplice watching the live stream of the poker game? And did the ring vibrate, signaling to her that she had the winning hand? Fueling suspicions is the fact that after the game, Adelstein says Robbie gave him back the money she won from him.
In their style, Inside Edition offered Robbie a platform to share her side. Her words added her perspective to the story, but the doubts only deepened.
I absolutely did not cheat at this poker game, and the investigation will show that.
Why fiddle with the ring so much?
I'm a fidgety person, and I never thought I'd ever have to actually explain this on national television, but I do have ADHD, and I did not take my medication that day.
Casino protection expert Sal Piasanti showed me an old-school buzzer called a thumper, once used by card cheats.
Here, I'll put this inside the glass, and you'll hear it vibrate.
And so that signal, that could be signaling, hey, you have the winning hand, or that could be signaling what the other guy at the table has.
So, the question still hangs in the air. Did Robbie cheat? Or did she pull off the gutsiest call in poker history? Was it a twitch? A signal? A ring adjustment? Or pure instinct? And if she outplayed Garrett with Jack High, why did she give the money back? The controversy refuses to die, and the poker world still can't agree. What's your take? Did Robbie cheat? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear where you stand. We searched the entire internet to find the absolute worst poker cheating scandals. Now it's your turn to help out. Hit like and subscribe to keep the epic poker content rolling. Jonathan Tamayo and the AI controversy that rocked the 2024 WSOP. Jonathan Tamayo's 2024 WSOP main event victory will forever be remembered, but not for the reasons most champions hope for. His win, clouded by allegations of real-time AI solver use, ignited one of the fiercest debates in poker history. Did technology cross the line into cheating? The discussion hasn't cooled, even today. It all flared up when Daniel Negreanu, Doug Polk, and Alan Keating tackled the topic on a podcast. Negreanu was not subtle, accusing Tamayo of breaching poker's ethical core. In his view, Tamayo's alleged use of AI gave him an artificial edge and poisoned the legitimacy of his $10 million victory. Negreanu's message was blunt. If you win with the help from software, it isn't a real win, it's cheating. Plain and simple.
I'm shocked, frankly. If I was there and I heard any rumor of this, I would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's new now that didn't exist for the last decade is the tools available today coming from AI, solvers, and this sort of thing. So I think in part, it's probably a good thing this happened on the biggest stage, because now it's a conversation we all have to have and go, okay, bro, is this the direction we're going in, or are we going to do something?
Negreanu's fiery comment shook the poker community. What should have been a celebration of poker's new world champion instead spotlighted a growing threat. AI solvers at the table. Negreanu warned that without clear rules, unchecked tech could hollow out the game's very soul.
Essentially, there are varying degrees of RTA, right? There's the massive extreme version where you're literally playing and you have a solve in real time telling you what to do. Like, that's the most egregious version. You know, the softer version is before the cards are dealt, you're looking at a chart, so you're prepared to do that, right? You know what you're going to do. Now, they're both RTA. They're going to help you in real time. One is very egregious, one is minimal. As far as I'm concerned, the line should be drawn at, like, first of all, any use of solvers or AI in the tournament area should not be allowed by the player or, getting relayed by anybody else. Obviously, you can't reference. The one that's interesting to me is, like, what if a guy just has a piece of paper with notes on it? Like, can he or can he not, before the hand, look at that? Because, listen, when I play poker, I have a notebook in my phone of different players' tendencies and tells and things like that. And, like, I'll say, oh, okay, I'm playing with this guy today, and I'm gonna look at that. Like, I don't know, like.
Traditionally, players sharpen their skills through experience, study, and good old-fashioned note-taking. AI changes that equation. Solvers replace years of hard-fought learning with instant perfect answers. Negreanu argued this strips away poker's humanity, reducing it to nothing more than a math problem. For him, intent doesn't matter. Whether Tamayo knowingly broke the rules or not, the damage to fairness is the same.
They're doing is wrong. But I think in a case like this is where you have to really sort of, get clarity, and saying, like, well, I didn't hear the announcements. That's not, like, that doesn't absolve you, right? Not knowing the law doesn't absolve you from.
Negreanu was equally unforgiving toward Tamayo's defense. Claiming ignorance, he said, doesn't erase responsibility. In poker, even unintentional cheating corrodes trust. And what about the runner-up, Jordan Griff? His second-place finish earned him $4 million, less than half of Tamayo's payout. For him, the controversy wasn't just about rules, but about what might have been stolen.
I don't know how things would have been different if they weren't using the solver, but it's even just sad that this is what the story out of the main event is, right? It should be positive stuff. It should be great stories about people making these deep runs and coming into money and trying to be ambassadors for the game. And here we are talking about someone who's trying to take every little edge they can.
Griff voiced his frustration, lamenting that the spirit of the WSOP was lost in scandal. Instead of inspiring future players, Tamayo's win became a lightning rod for debate. The main event, he argued, should be about triumph and memory-making, not suspicions of high-tech cheating. Doug Polk pressed further, asking whether Griff might sue not only Tamayo, but also WSOP organizers for allowing the scandal to unfold. With millions on the line and poker's credibility under fire, the possibility drew serious attention.
So once you have had that time, if there was a case, would you consider filing a suit?
I would say it's always a possibility, but I'm not sure at this time.
Jordan's response seemed almost too polished, sparking speculation that he might have been prepped on what to say. But how are the biggest names in poker reacting? We turn to insights from legends like Daniel Negreanu and Alan Keating to get a sense of where the poker community stands on this hot-button issue.
WSOP rules it's unclear. It's not in the written rules, really. There's a slight thing that I think is really weak. People are bringing up. But we have the intercom announcement, which is certainly something. But Nevada gaming rules, I would say it's pretty clearly against. And if you're going to go the legal action route, that is, I think, what really matters. So I don't know. Would you guys pursue legal action here? I guess, like, in your shoes, neither one of you are going to do that with your brands or if you're well known. But should the people at the table, should someone like Griff, where they feel like they did their best and they didn't realize this guy's running Sims on the rail, should they pursue legal action if they feel like their opponent was using something unfair to have an advantage against them?
I think from a financial perspective, it's minus EV overall. You're going to have to spend a bunch of money on lawyers. It's going to be very difficult to prove how much was gained from this process. And most juries and most courtrooms are not going to have any understanding of this.
Negreanu, meanwhile, warned that casual fans don't yet understand just how damaging AI assistance can be. Without education and awareness, he said, enforcing rules will be nearly impossible.
So the odds of you actually getting anything of substance past your legal fees is, unlikely. So I wouldn't. I guess nobody knew. Then nobody knew at the table. Then the floor didn't know. Nobody knew. It just sort of there's not much you can do there.
Yeah, but the law is clear in the Nevada gaming that this is against. There's no ambiguity. This is not allowed. So, but a court and a jury or a judge or whoever it might be, they're not going to be able to really discern that, right? And I'm sure there are lawyers that would take it on for win only.
Right, and then how far does it extend? I played the tournament, you played the tournament. Can we sue? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Obviously.
I don't know. I feel like suing is embarrassing. It's just
I agree.
As a man, whatever, figure yourself out outside of courts. When people are using courts to take money from other people, I just think it's unbecoming.
Both Negreanu and Keating argued the solution lies in prevention, not lawsuits. Poker's governing bodies need clearer rules, consistent enforcement, and stronger oversight. Only then can the human spirit of the game be protected.
All right, well, while that's true, sometimes it is necessary. And if you did realize afterwards your opponent was using software to beat you with this much money at stake, and they're over there running calcs to beat you in this thing for $4 million, I don't think it's crazy unrealistic to be oh, my opponent used something they shouldn't have to win $4 million off of me. I'm going to try and pursue that. I'm not trying to be the nit here, guys, but at some point, right? There's some damage threshold where it's not it's unreasonable to pursue. Yeah, I'm not even saying you should. I'm just saying it's not right. It's not outside the realm of
And then the slippery slope is, who do you file it against? Are you filing against the player itself, or are you going to file it against the operator, or both? Right? For the operator, quote unquote, allowed it to happen, or it happened under their watch, and nothing was done from that perspective, or the players themselves.
Keating chimed in with his own perspective, reflecting on his WSOP experience. He emphasized that the scandal isn't just about one man; it's about the entire game's credibility moving forward.
Opinion on what he saw.
We saw the laptop on the side of the table. People were looking at each other isn't that cheating? Is someone gonna jump in? What's going on here? Is this the direction? If I made the final table, would I be going against that stuff? Or what dream is alive for tournament players now? It felt okay, if you don't have a big stack, these situations aren't very complex, and if it's just all in or fold or something like that, then it looked like the computer's playing poker for them. I think the course of action is to push to these tournaments and say, we need a rule change here. These things need to be banned, and no ifs, ands, or buts. Everyone needs to get on.
Together, Negreanu and Keating insisted that WSOP organizers take a stronger role. This wasn't a one-off scandal. It was a warning. Without structural changes, poker risks losing its competitive integrity.
Yeah, I would say, though, that so here's the thing. Rather than quote unquote rule change, more aggressive enforcement of rules that already exist. Even Nevada Gaming have rules against this sort of thing. They're specifically more geared towards casino games. You can't use any sort of aid in blackjack or craps, but it does extend to poker too. And there is wording and there is language in there that says you cannot use anything like this. The floor staff, before the tournaments flat out said, you can't be using this stuff. There's some, again, I think the thing to focus on now that we have to do going forward, to your point, Alan, is make these rules as clear as possible. I think something to the effect of no use of solvers at any point in the tournament area, which is defined by the entire room. And any use of this could lead to a disqualification. And then when you put in use of solver, that includes, getting text messages or information from somebody using one and relaying that to you, right? Because you're going to have guys that are saying loopholes. Well, Jonathan didn't do any solve. Jonathan wasn't doing anything. He was just looking at what was.
Negreanu pushed hard for clearer rules, tougher enforcement, and transparency. His urgency caught even Keating off guard, particularly when discussing how AI reshapes pre-flop play. The threat, they agreed, is far more immediate than most realize.
Right? And on that point too, I think it's important for people to differentiate, like, whether if he's looking at hands that were already played and who cares? Like, that's not a big deal. Getting the solve for a hand that was played before doesn't necessarily help you for the ones going forward. The issue is the real-time assistant, if you will, is when the next hand's about to be dealt and you've just been spoon-fed ranges that came from a computer that tell you, and they're basically, what they're going to do is Hold'em has 4 streets, right? So you're essentially eliminating one in terms of potentially making any mistakes at all. You're literally basically saying, if I know what I'm doing here, I will never make a mistake pre-flop. You'll have to get me flop, turn, and river.
Wow.
And so from that perspective, like, there's no question. I don't think anyone in the community looks at this and thinks, yeah, this should be fine. Most importantly, too, when you look at online poker, right? This is why I'm like, how did you not? It's prohibited. You cannot use these tools legally online. You're not supposed to, you're not allowed. So why would they think or assume that you could do this in a live arena? I guess probably, frankly, because the rules were not written out as clearly as they should be.
Negreanu highlights how AI solvers have fundamentally altered poker, particularly pre-flop strategy. He argues that inconsistent rule enforcement has compounded the problem, making the need for clear, standardized regulations more pressing than ever.
So, like, part of the enforcement has to come from players sort of ratting out other players, and then having rules that are so severe and so significant that minimal edge Doug talked about, maybe 100K, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to take that risk and potentially...
Keating offered his own solution: heavy penalties. If the punishment isn't harsh enough, players will risk breaking the rules. Only stiff consequences can protect the game.
And ironically considered.
I mean, a 2-round penalty is kind of a slap on the wrist. What do you lose, like 3 big blinds? You know, I think it's been...
It's a big one. It's big. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of equity.
Good. It should be a lot.
It becomes a slippery slope. So, like, I believe, the best approach personally is just to have a harsh rule on none of this stuff being open at any point in a tournament area. And if you're caught as a spectator, you're removed from the place. And if you're caught as a player, you face penalty of, what Alan said, which is 2 rounds or potentially, a full DQ.
I like that we're going to go with Alan's take on what the tournament penalties should be. All right, we came together.
I am not.
And Alan has spoken. It will be a 2-orbit penalty moving forward.
I kind of like it, actually, because it is brutal. Like,
it should be brutal.
I said that originally. If you have 13 bigs and you have to go through 2 lives, now you have 8. That's like pretty bad. So, if you want to look at your your push or fold charts like under the gun, realize that you might just have to...
The debate briefly drifted to lighter territory, like the old argument over sunglasses. Do they give an unfair advantage, or are they part of the game's DNA?
I mean, I'll tell you, in like my friend group or something like that, if someone came and sat down and put sunglasses on, we'd all make fun of them. Like, until he took them off, we'd be like, no, really, you can't wear sunglasses. This is ridiculous. If you're going to take it that serious, like, go play over there,
Personally, I would ban sunglasses completely.
Do you think sunglasses sunglasses help pros or Rex more?
Yeah. The one thing it does for sure is it disconnects people from the game. Now it's a ghost.
Polk suggested sunglasses might actually make the game less intimidating for casual players. A reminder that poker isn't just about professionals, but about making everyone feel welcome at the table.
Sunglasses.
Usually when I see someone wearing sunglasses in a tournament, it's usually someone that this feels like this is their big shot and they're kind of nervous and they're worried they're going to have tells, and they're usually more recreational based, and they're usually people that are uncomfortable. And I think for any one of us 3 here, if we play a big pot in the main event, we're going to be fine. But for someone where like this is their big shot, they never play a tournament this big, and they really want to just like not give stuff away, and they're scared, and like their sunglasses, like, do you really want to be like, sorry, bud? I don't know.
As long as it's fair for everyone, right?
You do.
Like, I would never say you as a rec can't wear them, but other people are wearing them. It's just part of the game. Like, listen, online poker, you don't have to deal with any of this physical live stuff. Live poker, you do, right? Just the way. That's just the game. Yeah.
I can get on board with that. I just think it is important to explore the other side, and I do think if we look, generally speaking, it's more Rex than pros that wear sunglasses.
I want to be careful that we don't like rail this kid over the coals, Jonathan, because like from all intents and purposes, he seems like a nice guy. I genuinely don't think he was. I think he's caught up in the moment, just doing what he's doing. His coaches are giving him stuff. Like, I don't think he was consciously thinking about the optics or anything like that.
Right.
And again, most importantly, the fact that they did it out in the open like that lends me to believe that, like, he didn't think anything he was doing was wrong. He just was, trying his best to win $10 million. So I don't fault him really in that regard. I wish, like, if he looks back, I would hope that he would see, like, how bad it looks, and take a different approach than Dominic.
How can poker evolve without losing its identity? That's the central question the Tamayo scandal forced onto the table. Negreanu has emerged as the loudest voice, demanding fairness, rules, and integrity in the age of AI. For him, poker survival depends on it, and the debate is far from over. Mike Postle and the Stones live cheating scandal. The saga of Mike Postle on the Stones live poker streams stands as one of the darkest stains in poker's history. It all began when respected commentator and community voice Veronica Brill noticed something didn't add up. Postle wasn't just winning, he was winning too much, making decisions with near perfect accuracy that defied logic, math, and conventional poker wisdom. Hand after hand, his calls, folds, and raises landed with uncanny precision. To Brill, it didn't feel like skill. It felt like something more. In September 2019, she took her suspicions public. Through social media and interviews, Brill laid out her case, showing clips where Postle's plays looked almost superhuman. Her message hit home. This wasn't variance. This wasn't just a hot streak. Something was wrong.
Postle's winnings, according to the lawsuit, were not known to have been achieved by any other poker player, describing the chances of his winnings statistically unfathomable in the world of professional.
The allegations opened the floodgates. Players and analysts began combing through hours of archived Stones live footage, pointing out example after example where Postle's decisions seemed too perfect to be real. Many wondered, if he truly had this level of skill, why wasn't he crushing the world's biggest games against elite competition? The community quickly rallied around Brill, launching a collective investigation. Patterns emerged, suggesting Postle may have had access to hidden information, data no one else at the table could see. Each revelation piled more weight onto the case against him. Yet Postle himself never budged. He denied everything, dismissing the accusations even as the evidence mounted. That left the poker world split. Some convinced he was a con man, others hesitant to declare guilt without absolute proof. So the question still lingers today. Was Mike Postle truly cheating, or was it all an illusion? What do you think? Not all cheating scandals happen in front of the cameras in plain sight. Here are the 3 biggest scandals that weren't in front of live cameras. 1. The WSOP fake chips disaster. The World Series of Poker circuit is supposed to be a proving ground for talent. But in 2014, it became the backdrop for one of poker's strangest cheating scandals. At the Borgata in Atlantic City, a player tried to stack the odds in his favor with a scheme so ridiculous that it ended up flooding an entire hotel. The hustle that clogged the system. Christian Lusardi, a small-time grinder with a sketchy gambling history, cooked up a reckless plan. Manufacture over $800,000 in counterfeit poker chips and sneak them into the tournament. By adding extra chips, he could quietly inflate his stack and bulldoze the field. At first, it looked like it might work. Lusardi built up chips and survived deep into the event. But the Borgata, like all casinos, kept meticulous track of chip counts. The numbers didn't line up, and suspicions rose immediately, flushing away the evidence. When Lusardi realized the walls were closing in, panic took over. His solution? Flush the unused counterfeit chips down the toilet of his hotel room. What he didn't consider was that plumbing can't handle thousands of plastic chips. Soon enough, the pipes burst, flooding the building and leading maintenance crews straight to his discarded evidence. The end of the line. With proof literally stuck in the pipes, the case against Lusardi was airtight. He was arrested, sentenced to 5 years in prison, and ordered to pay nearly $500,000 in restitution. The Borgata had to cancel the tournament entirely, leaving honest players cheated out of a fair event. To this day, Lusardi's fiasco is remembered not just as one of poker's most infamous scams, but also as one of its dumbest. Once again, cheaters learned the hard way, you can't outplay casino security, or in this case, a clogged toilet. 2. Justin Bonomo's multi-account scandal. Today, Justin Bonomo is celebrated as one of the most successful players alive, with over $60 million in tournament winnings. But his rise to the top wasn't without controversy. In 2006, before he was a poker legend, Bonomo's name was attached to one of online poker's earliest major scandals, multi-accounting. One man, many seats. Online tournaments are supposed to be fair. One player, one account, one chance to win. Bonomo, just 20 years old at the time, found a way around it. By entering events under multiple accounts, he boosted his chances of success. If one account busted, he still had others in play. Worse yet, he could soft play against himself, intentionally dumping chips between accounts to position one of his identities for a deep run. The scheme gave him a clear edge, but suspicions in the community mounted. Eventually, Party Poker launched an investigation and found undeniable proof that Bonomo had been manipulating the system. The fallout. The punishment was swift. Bonomo's accounts were shut down. He was banned from Party Poker, and his reputation took a serious hit. Even though he later admitted it was a young and dumb mistake, the scandal cast a long shadow at the time. From villain to redemption. But unlike some who never recovered, Bonomo rebuilt. Over the years, he worked his way back into the poker spotlight, this time in the live arena. He conquered high rollers, won multiple WSOP bracelets, and ultimately rewrote his reputation as one of the game's elite. His redemption arc is undeniable, but his story still stands as a warning. Cheating online may give a short-term boost, but it can follow you for the rest of your career. 3. Full Tilt Poker, the Ponzi scheme that broke the game. In the glory days of the poker boom, Full Tilt Poker was a giant. It was home to megastars like Phil Ivey, Tom Dwan, and Gus Hansen, and co-founded by legends like Howard Lederer and Chris Ferguson. For a while, it looked like the gold standard of online poker, but behind the branding and big names, the company was rotting from within. The House of Cards. Full Tilt executives were dipping into player deposits to fund their own lavish lifestyles, treating player balances as their personal bank accounts. Outwardly, the site seemed untouchable, but by the time the truth came out, hundreds of millions in deposits had vanished. Black Friday. On April 15, 2011, Black Friday in poker history, the U.S. Department of Justice shut down Full Tilt, PokerStars, and Absolute Poker. The shocking revelation soon followed. Full Tilt didn't even have the money to pay back its players. Over $300 million in player funds were gone. The poker community erupted. Lederer, Ferguson, and CEO Ray Bitar became villains overnight. They had enriched themselves while local players were left locked out of their accounts. The bailout and the fallout. Relief eventually came when PokerStars struck a settlement with the government, acquiring Full Tilt and paying back players. But for the brand itself, the damage was fatal. Full Tilt never recovered, and its name became synonymous with betrayal. As for the architects of the scream, Bitar dodged a long-term prison sentence by citing health problems, while Lederer and Ferguson all but disappeared from the poker world before making controversial, half-hearted attempts at comebacks. The Full Tilt collapse remains one of the most infamous scandals in poker history, a stark reminder that even in a game built on trust and risk, nothing is more destructive than greed. Make sure to like and subscribe to never miss an epic poker scandal, obscene meltdown, or sick suckout. Thanks for watching.